Hello, my dear curious and studious students of surgery. Myself, Dr. Mahesh Chaudhary. I am warm welcoming you in my surgery lecture series. This surgery lecture series contains entire surgery with anesthesia, with radiology, with orthopedic. So stay tuned with us. Let's start our surgery lecture series. Welcome, dear students, in my surgery lecture number 82, that is the malignant tumors. In this lecture, we will cover the basal cell carcinoma, that is the rodent ulcer, squamous cell carcinoma, Marjolin's ulcer, the melanoma, benign melanoma, that is the moles, pigmented news and the freckles. All these points are covered in this lecture. Now first, the basal cell carcinoma, that is the rodent ulcer. This is a locally invasive carcinoma in the basal layers of the epidermis. It is of low grade malignancy. This is particularly liable to occur in fair and dry skinned people constantly exposed to sunlight. Elderly subjects are usually affected. Etiology: elderly people are usually affected. The patients are in middle or late age. It affects the male more often than females. It is particularly seen in the white residing in the tropical countries. It grows very slowly, often over a course of the many years. Exposure to sunlight seems to be an important etiological factor. That is why this lesion is usually confined to the face. Rodent ulcer is a particularly prevalent in Australia and is confined to white people of the labor class whose skin is exposed to the bright sunlight of high actinic value. And seventh is, it is the seldom seen in the dark skinned people. The tumor is frequently multiple and the multiple growths may be confined to one area or may occur in the different areas. Dear students, here is the image on your screen. You can see that is the basal cell carcinoma, rodent ulcer on the face. This is the huge rodent ulcer on the face is seen on your screen, where the nose is totally gone. Now the etiology is the multiple basal cell carcinomas may develop in persons following prolonged administration of arsenic, usually in the form of the liquor arsenicalis. Arsenic was also previously used in the skin ointments. Next point is the next etiology is the 90% of the basal cell carcinoma is seen in the face above a line from the corner of the mouth to a lobule of the ear, the commonest site being around the inner canthus of the eye. Now the pathology: deeply macroscopic features. Although it is called rodent ulcer, many of the lesions are non-ulcerated. The different macroscopic types are deeply eroding ulcer on the rodent ulcers. Such an ulcer has a typical rolled edge, not everted. Second is the nodular type. Third is the cystic type, a large semi-transparent nodule with darkly translucent color as it contains edematous fluid. Fourth is the pigmented nodule. And fifth is the field fire or forest fire or geographical variety with advancing age and healing center. It has an irregular raised edge around flat white scar. Now the origin, as mentioned earlier, the common belief is that the basal cell carcinoma arises from the basal layers of the epidermis, but occasionally a basal cell tumors arises from the basal cells of the hairs, follicles and sweat glands. Now the spread of this basal cell carcinoma is, the basal cell carcinoma usually spreads by local invasion. It gradually destroys the tissue it comes in contact with. That is why this tumor is called rodent ulcer. Now the clinical features, symptoms: the principal complaint is of a persistent lesion, either an ulcer or a nodule. It is not painful in the beginning, though it may itch. The lesion grows slowly and little bleeding may be complained of. If untreated, rodent ulcer becomes quite big and deep. It then may cause pain and bleeding may become infected. Basal cell carcinoma is more known for its multiplicity. Now the local examination. First, site. Though no site is exempted, at 90% of the basal cell carcinoma is seen on the face. Above the line drawn from the angle of the mouth to the lobule of the ear, the commonest sites are around the inner canthus of the eye, around the outer canthus of the eye, nose, around the nasolabial folds, on the forehead, more common in females. Now this lesion is also seen in the scalp, neck, arms, hands, that is the exposed areas of the skin. Now first, the lesion. The tumor always starts as a nodule. As the growth spreads, shape of the ulcer becomes irregular. An irregular raised edge around a flat white scar is sometimes called a yield fire or geographical basal cell carcinoma. When the ulcer erodes the deeper structures, the edge becomes more prominent but does never become everted. The floor of the rodent ulcer is covered with a coat of dried serum and epithelial cells. Third is, the regional lymph nodes are usually not enlarged. If these are enlarged, the diagnosis should be reconsidered. Now the treatment radiotherapy, superficial radiotherapy will cure over 90% of the basal cell carcinomas. Contraindication to the radiotherapy are if the lesion is very close to the eye, then radiation is a contraindication. Radiotherapy is contraindicated. If the lesion is on the back of the hands, if the lesion adheres to the cartilage of the bone. Now the second line of treatment is the surgery. Indication for the surgery is the where radiotherapy is contraindicated and recurrence after radiotherapy. The defect can be closed by simple direct suturing of the growth is the small one. It may require partial or full thickness skin graft to cover the defect. Rotation flap or pedicle grafts may be used for better cosmetic results. Now third is the cryosurgery. Has recently been used but its efficacy is yet to be proved. And fourth line of treatment, that is the local chemotherapy for the basal cell carcinoma. 5-fluorouracil cream has been applied locally. It has not been successful in majority of the cases. It may be tried in small flat nodules. Fifth is the laser beam destruction of the tumor is being performed in a few sophisticated centers for the basal cell carcinoma. Now, the squamous cell carcinoma, that is the epithelioma, epidermoid carcinoma. This is the carcinoma of the cell of the epidermis that easily migrate outwards to the surface. It is a prickle cell layers from which squamous cell carcinoma usually starts. Squamous cell carcinoma can occur de novo in the skin. This may occur in a few pre-existing lesions of the skin. Long-standing chronic ulcers, that is the Marjolin ulcers, falling burn, venous ulcer, old scar, etc. Senile keratosis, Browen's disease, leukoplakia from skin exposed to the irradiation. Chronic skin lesions, that is the lupus vulgaris, cutaneous tuberculosis, eczema, wart. Dear students, here is a picture on your screen. Is a squamous cell carcinoma is clearly seen. This is the second image of the carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma. Next point is exposed to prolonged irritation by various chemicals, that is the dyes, tar, soot, pitch, etc. Scrotal cancer is common in chimney sweepers and in those whose clothes get soaked with oil or tar. Very rarely, squamous cell carcinoma may develop from a basal cell carcinoma, which is known as the basosquamous carcinoma. The sites for these squamous cell carcinomas are such tumors may develop in any place where there is a squamous or transitional epithelium. It is mostly seen in anywhere in the skin, particularly in the dorsum of the hands, in the face, limbs, etc. At the junction of the skin and the mucous membrane, that is the lip, nostril, eyelids, penis and vulva. It is also seen in the mucous membrane lined by the stratified squamous epithelium, that is the tongue, mouth, esophagus and vagina. It is occasionally seen even from the columnar epithelium, that is in the bronchus, gallbladder, etc. In such places, it usually occurs following metaplasia. It may occur where there is a transitional epithelium following metaplasia, that is the pelvis of the kidney, ureter and urinary bladder. Now the predisposition factors for the squamous cell carcinoma are a few conditions have always been incremented to excite or induce development of the epithelioma. These conditions are Browen's disease, senile keratosis, lupus vulgaris, xeroderma pigmentosum, exposure to sunlight or irradiation, chronic irritation such as the leukoplakia, burn scar, venous ulcer, osteomyelitis sinus, that is the Marjolin ulcer, continuous heat by the charcoal burner, that is the Kangri cancers applied to the abdomen or back of the thighs may cause typical Kangri cancer of the Kashmiri peoples. Sleeping on oven bed is often a habit of the Tibetans, which may cause Kang cancer of the buttocks, heels and elbows. Prolonged irritation of the skin by the certain chemicals, that is the pitch, tar, cancer of the scrotal skin is common in chimney sweepers. Now the pathology of the squamous cell carcinoma is there is a two types of usually seen. One is the proliferative type and second is the ulcerative. By far the ulcerative variety is commoner. Microscopic features, these are the solid columns of epithelial cells which are seen growing down into the dermis separated from the one another by connective tissues. This is the process of keratinization. The mass of the keratin looks red with eosin stain. This is surrounded by the normal looking squamous cells. Now the spread of these squamous cell carcinoma by the three routes: local spread, lymph spread and the blood spread. First, local spread by continuity and contiguity. Second is the lymph spread occurs by the embolism and permeation. Lymph nodes involvement varies with the site of the primary lesion. And third is the blood spread occurs very rarely, and even if it occurs, it takes place in the very late stage. Now the clinical features, history. First age, usually these tumors is seen above 40 years of age and the incidence increases with the age. Occupation, cancer of the scrotal skin is common in chimney sweepers and also occurs in the engineers whose clothes become soaked in oil. And the And third is the duration. Usually the swelling is the present for 1 month or few months as the growth shows variable growing capacity. Now the symptoms, nodule or an ulcer is the main presenting symptoms. There may be complaint of bleeding. Second is the tumor, in which usually painless. Sometimes the enlarged lymph nodes are the main complaint of the patient. Now the local examination, first sight, these have been discussed earlier in the lecture. Temperature and tenderness, the ulcer has a normal temperature and is usually not tender. Size and shape, squamous carcinoma begins as a small nodule. Age, this carcinoma has erased and everted edges. This shows excessive tissue growth over and above the normal surface. Floor is covered by the necrotic tumor serum and blood. There may be some granulation tissues. Base, the ulcer is indurated. This is a pathognomonic sign of an epithelioma. Mobility, in early cases, the epithelioma can be moved with the skin over the underlying structures. Once the tumor has been fixed to the underlying structure, it cannot be moved. Next is the regional lymph nodes. This may be enlarged and such examination is highly important. If enlarged, it may not be due to the lymph metastasis but may be due to the secondary infection. It must be noted that 1/3 cases of such palpable lymph nodes are caused by the infection. Now the treatment can be divided into two groups: treatment of the primary lesion and the treatment of the secondary lymph nodes. First, treatment of the primary lesion, that is the surgery. Wide excision is the treatment of the choice. Once the diagnosis is confirmed by the biopsy, excision of the growth should be performed with 2 cm of the normal tissue surrounding the tumor. In case of the tumor involving fingers, toes and penis, and amputation is indicated. Indication for this surgery is the surgery is particularly indicated when the lesion is large size, when the lesion has involved muscle and cartilage and bone, when the facility and radiotherapy is not adequate, recurrence of the growth after radiotherapy. Now second is the radiotherapy. Superficial radiotherapy will cure 80% of the early lesions. Such methods of the deep X-ray therapy, radium needles and molds. Indications for the radiotherapy is the when the condition of the patient is not satisfactory for surgery, when the growth is small, and when the growth has not involved muscles, cartilage and bone, or is not close to the eyes. Now the next point is the treatment of the secondary lymph nodes. When there is no enlargement of the regional lymph nodes, regular follow-up is advised till the nodes become enlarged and palpable. If the nodes are never enlarged and no treatment should be, then the no treatment should be advised. When the lymph nodes becomes enlarged and palpable, a biopsy should be performed in metastatic cases. Block dissection should be performed. And second is when the dissection nodes are already palpable and enlarged, this may occur due to the secondary infection or metastasis. A biopsy should be performed. In case of metastasis, if the lymph nodes are mobile and resectable, radical block dissection is justified. If the biopsy shows secondary infection, a course of antibiotics should be given. And third is the lymph nodes are enlarged, hard and fixed to the surrounding structure. Palliative radiotherapy is the only treatment is available nowadays. Now the next point is the Marjolin ulcer. Marjolin ulcer is the name given to the squamous carcinoma which arises in the chronic benign ulcer. The commonest ulcer to become malignant is a long-standing venous ulcer, the scar which may show malignant changes in the scar of the old burn. The special features is it is the slow-growing malignant lesion, probably due to the less vascularity of the region. Age of such an ulcer is not always raised and everted. Painless, such lesion is almost always painless and is often ignored by the patient. Such carcinoma is less malignant than a typical squamous carcinoma. There is no lymphatic metastasis as the lymphatics are destroyed or occluded by the previous chronic lesions of the skin. Dear students, here is a good picture of the Marjolin ulcer. You can see on your screen the second image of the Marjolin ulcer. Third image is the Marjolin ulcer. Now the treatment of the Marjolin ulcer are, even though it is a less invasive or slower in growth, the treatment is almost same as squamous cell carcinoma arising de novo. Surgery, this is the mainstay of the treatment. Wide excision of the local along with a margins of at least 1 cm excise. And second is a radiotherapy. This tumor being absolutely radio resistance, there is no place of such therapy. Now the next point of this lecture is the melanomas. Melanomas are melanin containing tumor develop either from the melanocytes or melanoblast. Physiologically, the pigment melanin is formed from the amino acid tyrosine. The pigment melanin is normally found in the skin. In colored people, the whole body, and in the white, the nipples, areola, perineum and the axilla. Choroid of the eyes, substantia nigra, leptomeninges, adrenal medulla, telachoroidea. Tyrosine is an amino acid and is converted by the oxidation of the dehydroxyphenylamine that is the DOPA. Such oxidation is performed by the enzyme tyrosinase, which is the present in the melanocytes. DOPA reaches the pigments forming cells where it is converted into melanin by the enzymes DOPA oxidase. Dear students, here is the melanoma on the skin. You can see the image clearly. This is also the melanoma's picture. The origin of the melanoblasts is controversial. There are two views. First is the epidermal theory and second is the neurogenic theory. The epidermal theory, the melanoblasts in this theory are merely epithelial cells which have the power of the forming pigments that these proliferate in the basal layers of the epidermis and penetrate into the underlying dermis, where they may become cut off from their source of origin. The process may be arrested in any stage, but in each case the resulting lesion is a news. And the second is the neurogenic theory. This appears complex or far-fetched. According to this theory, the melanoblasts are believed to origin in the region of the neural crest. Early in the embryonic life, they migrate with the peripheral nerves to their final position in the basal layers of the epidermis. These are the DOPA positive cells and may be pigmented or non-pigmented. Melanoblasts and melanocytes are capable of producing pigments as they contain DOPA oxidase. They are located in the epidermis. The production of the melanin is controlled by the certain hormones, and these are the MSH, that is the melanocyte stimulating hormone, which is formed in the anterior lobe of the pituitary. This is the main hormone which controls synthesis of the melanin. And second is the ACTH, to a slight extent may have some influencing effect in the production of the melanin. And third is the sex hormone. Both estrogen and androgens are affecting the production of the melanin. Now the next point is the benign melanomas, that is the moles, pigmented news and the freckles. The most common benign lesions is the news or a mole, although many of these may be present since birth, other appears later in the life. Depending on the nature of the further proliferation, benign melanomas can be classified into following varieties, that is the varieties of the melanoma: hairy mole, non-hairy or smooth moles, blue news and junctional news, component news, juvenile melanomas, Hutchinson's freckles, lentigo. All these are the varieties of the benign melanomas. First is the hairy mole. This is the common variety. It is a flat or slightly raised above the level of the skin. It has a smooth and slightly warty epidermal covering. It has hairs growing from its surface. These are also sebaceous glands which may become infected. This causes increases in the swelling and tenderness. Second is non-hairy or smooth moles. This is also very common. The surface is not elevated, the epithelium is smooth. There is no hair growing from its surface. And third is the blue news. It is an uncommon variety of the news. It is a type of the mole which occurs deep in the dermis. The thick overlying layers of the dermis and epidermis mask the color of the melanin and make it look blue. The overlying skin is often smooth and shiny. It is more often seen in the children. It is commonly seen on the face, dorsum of the hand, feet and buttocks of the babies, that is the Mongolian spot. Dear students, here is the picture of the non-hairy smooth mole. This is the blue news, non-hairy smooth moles, and this is the picture of the freckles. Clearly Hutchinson's freckle picture, same picture, lentigo is also called. Now the fourth variety of the melanoma is the junctional news. If the growth of the movements of the melanocyte stop before they have all migrated into the dermis, there will be clusters of cells of various stages of the maturity in the epidermis and dermis. This lesion is called junctional news because it is centered around the junctional or basal layers of the epidermis. Junctional moles are immature and unstable and can turn malignant. In fact, the majority of the malignant melanomas begin in junctional news. Malignant change is evidenced by the increase in the size, increase in the pigmentation, and the next is the satellite pigmentation spots, ulceration, crusting or hemorrhage. Fifth is the microscopic features are hyperchromasia, anaplasia, mitotic figures and subepithelial spread. Now the fifth variety of the melanoma is the compound news. From the above description, it becomes clear that the two distinct varieties of the melanoma are available, intradermal and junctional. When the intradermal and the junctional features are both present in one mole, it is called the compound news. This should be remembered. The intradermal compounds is inactive and incapable of multiplication, but the junctional component is responsible for this lesion being potentially malignant. Next is the juvenile melanoma. A mole, as we see the picture of the juvenile melanoma previously, a mole showing junctional activity before puberty is called the juvenile mole. The reason for a special name of such mole is that the microscopy it looks so active. It is usually found in young children and face in the common site. Now, seventh is the Hutchinson freckles lentigo. As we see, the black spotted on the face of that child in this lecture previously, that is called the Hutchinson freckles and lentigo or lentigo. It is commonly worthy of special note. This term is used to describe a large area of dark pigmentation on the face. It is commonly seen on the face and neck in elderly people. Now the treatment of these benign melanomas, our treatment is better to excise the melanin moles. The reasons are for cosmetic purpose. If its position makes it liable to repeated trauma, though there is no evidence that trauma causes malignant changes. Third is if the lesion is suspected to be the junctional news occurring in the palms, soles and the external genitalia. And fourth is if the history suggests malignant changes, that is more pigmentation, development of the erythema, increase in size or consistency, changes in the surface characteristics, that is the scaling, oozing, crusting, bleeding, erosions, and some subjective symptoms like itching, burning, etc. After excision of the lesion with the margin of the normal skin, the lesion is set for histological examination. Dear students, here is the image. You can see there is shows the different levels of the invasions of the malignant melanoma, both Clark's levels and Breslau's depth of the invasion in mm at the left side of the image have been shown in this diagrammatic figure. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 indicate the corresponding level, that is the first, second, third, fourth and fifth of the Clark classifications. Remember that the depth of the invasion of malignant melanoma is the most important single criterion to indicate the progression of the disease. All is showing in this image. First is the epidermis, second is the papillary dermis, third is the reticular dermis and fourth is the subcutaneous tissues. Is clearly shown in this picture. Next entity of this lecture is the malignant melanoma. By the definition, the term malignant melanoma refers to the malignant lesion originating in the melanoblasts. Skin is the most common site of the malignant melanoma and it represents about 4% to 5% of all skin malignancies. About 25% of all cases are seen in each of the head and neck, lower extremities and the trunk. It should be remembered that in whites the sublingual melanomas are more frequent. All melanomas originate from the melanoblasts at the epidermal junction, but the cells may not contain melanin at all times and therefore some lesion may be amelanotic. Now the origin of malignant melanomas may arise in the pre-existing pigmented news, that is 90%, either in the junctional news, compound news or in the Hutchinson's lentigo. Deno is apparently normal skin in 10%. Dear students, here is the image on your screen, that is the malignant melanoma. Second image is also malignant melanoma, clearly seen, the blackish in color. Now the etiology of the malignant melanoma is, first is the age. Patient of any age may develop malignant melanomas, but it is extremely rare before puberty. Sex. Women develop melanoma slightly more than men. Melanoma in women are more common in lower extremities. Now the race. It is more common in the whites who are more exposed to sunlight. It is more frequent in Australia, but it is very rare in Negroes. Individuals with the Celtic ancestry appears to show the highest predilection for development of this disease. The role of the ultraviolet light in the etiology of the melanoma is debatable issue, but it is accepted to certain extent that both the incidence of the melanoma and subsequent mortality can be correlations with the degree of the sunlight exposure. Probably severe sunburns early in life correlate best with the increased skin of the melanoma. So sunblock is recommended, particularly in fair skinned children, may reduce the skin of the developing melanoma. Again, the fact and melanoma does occur in sites not exposed to the sun, that is the mucous membrane site. Exposure to the sunlight is not clearly the only etiological factor. Next is genetic factors. Along with the environmental one seems to play a role in malignant melanoma in formation. Abnormalities in chromosomes 1, 6 and 9 have been noticed in malignant melanomas. Now the site, palm, sole and external genitalia are the common sites. Role of the trauma. Though there is a tendency to believe that repeated trauma to a news may turn into the malignant melanomas, yet definitely evidence are yet to be received. Now the role of the pregnancy. Similarly, pregnancy is also alleged to provoke malignancy changes in the news. Estrogen has got some influence in producing melanin pigments, and it is true that the pregnancy has a bad influence on the course of the malignant melanoma. Next etiology in the malignant melanoma are steroid hormones may have influence to produce the malignant melanomas. Now the pathology of the malignant melanoma, that is the microscopical features. With the development of the malignant melanoma, there is the increase in the junctional activity and the cells increase in size. Now the malignant melanoma of the skin can be divided into 4 types, histopathological types. The first is lentigo-malingo-melanoma, that is the LMM. Second is the superficial spreading melanoma, SSM. Third is the acral lentiginous melanoma, that is the ALM, and nodular melanoma, that is the NM. The junctional melanoma, which constitute the first 3 groups, proliferate in horizontal direction initially along the dermoepidermal junction, which is known as the radial growth phase. This precedes dermal invasion, which is known as the vertical growth phase. Now the first, lentigo-maligna melanoma, that is the LMM. This type is more often seen in older individuals in the 6th to 8th decades of life. This lesion consists predominantly of the spindle-shaped malignant cells. Pagetoid cells are usually not seen in this lesion. This is presented as a thin melanoma. This lesion is mostly seen in sun-exposed skin, particularly the face. Second is the superficial spreading melanoma, that is the SSM. It is the commonest of all melanomas. It occurs on the both sun-exposed and non-exposed areas of the skin. Third is the acral lentiginous melanoma, that is the ALM. This lesion is more common among the blacks and more commonly seen on the palm, sole, and in subungual position. Fourth is the nodular melanoma, that is the NM. In this variety, the growth in the horizontal direction is almost absent and vertical growth predominates. So this is the most malignant form among these 4 types. Now the spread of these malignant melanoma through the local extension, lymphatic spread, blood spreads. By these 3 routes, these are spread. The malignant tumors kill patient by producing widespread metastasis. First is the local extension. Malignant melanoma spreads initially by local extension by the continuity and contiguity. The deep fascia acts as a strong barrier and malignant melanoma hardly infiltrates the deep fascia. Second is the lymphatic spread. This is the commonest spread of malignant melanoma. The tumor cells reach the regional lymph nodes by embolism and permeation. And third is the blood spread. Blood spread is the late event and may be absent until nearly the end. The skin is the commonest site of the metastasis. Now the clinical features, that is the increasing size. The patient usually complains that a long-standing moles has suddenly shown rapid growth within the last few days. Such increase in the size occurs in all directions. The moles becomes wider and thicker. Second is the change in the color. The malignant mole becomes darker. Such color change is often patchy. Third is the bleeding. The overlying epithelium becomes ulcerated and often breaks down. The minor injuries, this tends to the bleed. Fourth is the evidence of the local spread. Tumor cells gradually invade the surrounding skin to produce the halo, which indicates the appearance of the malignancy. And fifth is the enlarged regional lymph nodes. This indicates that the growth has turned into the malignancy. Now the symptoms. When benign moles show the cardinal symptoms of malignant changes, the malignant melanoma is most probably diagnosis, and the malignant melanoma is not painful. It often itchy. Sometimes the patient may complain of lymph node enlargement, that means the swelling of the groin, axilla and neck according to the region of the primary tumor. Now the local examination. First is the sites. Majority of the melanomata are seen in the palm, soles of the feet. Other parts of the limbs, head, neck may be involved. Now the color. It may be of any color from brown to black. More blackish in the color, more chance is there of the malignancy. Third is the temperature and tenderness of malignant melanoma is no warmer and not tender. Surface. When the small, the surface may be smooth, but as it attains larger size, ischemic necrosis, small ulcers, crust, etc. are seen on the surface. Bleeding is quite common on the surface of this melanoma. Consistency. The tumor feels firm. The small satellite tumors may be hard. Maybe feel hard. Now the mobility. The tumor moves with the skin. As it arises from the skin, it can be easily lifted up from the deeper structures. Surrounding skin, the hollow and or satellite nodules may be seen in the surrounding skin. 8 point of the local examination in the melanoma are the regional lymph nodes are oftenly enlarged in case of the malignant melanoma is there. Now the treatment, general treatment. This is the main treatment. Surgery is the main treatment of the malignant melanoma. Modalities of surgical treatment can be offered by excision biopsy with a margin of 2 to 5 mm of surrounding healthy skin is indicated for most pigmented lesion with block dissection of the nodes. Incisional biopsy better be avoided, may be required in extremely large lesion. There is no evidence to suggest that the increase of dissemination. Now the second line of treatment is the systemic treatment of the melanoma, that is the systemic chemotherapy. Should be considered as a palliative measures if the disease has spread beyond the first order of the lymph nodes, the single agent which has greatest efficacy is the dicarbazine, that is the DTIC. Different combination of the drugs have been used and multiple drugs regimens are even better. Now the immunotherapy in the systemic treatment of the melanoma, that is gradually receiving more and more acceptance in the treatment of this disease. Interleukin 2, that is the IL-2 and alpha interferon have been used systematically in the treatment of the metastatic disease. Now the radiotherapy, melanoma is not a radiosensitive tumor, as therefore adjuvant radiotherapy is not commonly advocated. It is however used in case with nodal metastasis where complete surgical excision have been in doubt, particularly in the head and neck region, but its effect on improving survival is as yet unproven. Now the last point of this lecture is the sarcoma. This is a rare tumor. 1% of all malignant tumors constitutes in comparison to carcinoma. Sarcoma is also differs from the carcinoma in the age incidence. Sarcoma usually occurs in the second and third decades and infects may occur at all ages. Most tumors appears as a fleshy mass. Hemorrhage commonly occurs due to the presence of thin walled veins. Comparison between the carcinoma and the sarcoma are as, first you can see the image of the sarcoma in the striated muscles. You can see on your image, this is the sarcoma of the skin. Now the difference between comparison between the carcinoma and sarcoma are, carcinoma age commonly in middle and old age, a very common tumor, where in the sarcoma the age occurs at all ages of life. Common younger people, a much less commoner tumors. By the structure, in the carcinoma typically arranged in the groups and columns, except in the most anaplastic tumors, stroma often well formed, and in the sarcoma arranged in the diffuse sheets, ultimately related to the stroma. Stroma nearly always poorly formed and inadequate of the growth of the tumor. Hemorrhage in the carcinoma, hemorrhage and necrosis less extensive except in anaplastic tumors, where in the sarcoma hemorrhage and necrosis is extensive. Growth pattern in the carcinoma often somewhat slowly growing, and in the sarcoma growth pattern growth is usually very rapid. Metastasis in the carcinoma, lymphatic metastasis is early, blood-borne metastasis is usually evident a little later. Commonest seat of the blood, that is the blood-borne metastasis in the liver. Other organs often involved are the lungs, brain, bones, kidney and the adrenals. And in the metastasis of the sarcoma, lymphatic spread is rare. Blood-borne metastasis appears very early. Commonest site of the metastasis is the lung. Other organs may also be involved. Skeletal deposits are rare. Fifth is the radiosensitivity in the carcinoma. Many highly radiosensitive, and sarcoma in the radiosensitivity almost completely radio resistance. Soft tissue sarcoma may develop at any site in the body. These are non-encapsulated but possesses the pseudocapsule of the compressed malignant and normal cells. These tumors have tendency for local infiltration along with the facial planes. Now the types of the sarcomas, cell origin and the types of the tumors. From the fat cells, liposarcoma. Fibroblast cells develop the fibrosarcoma. Histiocytes develop the malignant fibrous histiocytoma. Smooth muscle develop the leiomyosarcoma. Striated muscle, rhabdomyosarcoma. Osteoclasts, osteosarcoma develops. Chondroblast develop the chondrosarcoma. Endothelium of the blood cells develop the angiosarcoma. Endothelium of lymph vessels develops lymphangiosarcoma, where the synovial cells develop the synovial sarcoma. Pluripotential mesenchyme cell develop the malignant mesenchyma. Ectoderm, that is the peripheral nerve, develop the malignant neurolenoma. Uncertain cells of origin develop the Kaposi's sarcoma, malignant granular cell tumor, clear cell sarcoma of tendon, sheath and aponeurosis. Osteosarcoma is the most common tumor of all sarcomas. Fibrosarcoma, it is a common soft tissue sarcoma. It is the malignant counterpart of fibroma. Now the diagnosis of these sarcomas. Now the fibrosarcoma, it is a common soft tissue sarcoma. It is the malignant counterpart of fibroma. Diagnosis made by the biopsy is essential to establish the diagnosis. Excisional biopsy is used for lesions up to the 3 cm in size. The staging system is based on the 4 parameters, that is the T, N, M and G, referring to tumor size, regional lymph nodes, involvement, distant metastasis and histological grade of the tumor. Chest films, tomograms and or computed tomographic scans are necessary to exclude the pulmonary metastasis. Angiography may demonstrate the tumor. Now the treatment of this sarcoma surgery, the treatment of choice for fibrosarcoma and all soft tissue sarcomas is adequate surgical resection, that is the wide local excision, muscle group excision and amputation. First, The wide local excision is must be three-dimensional to obtain margin in all direction around the tumor. Second is the muscle group excision may be used for some sarcomas requiring removal of all involved muscle from their origins to insertions. The amputation site is above the joint of the involved muscles groups, as whole local excision and muscle groups excision often fail to provide a recurrence to free survival. Amputation has often been the recommended treatment of choice. Now the radiotherapy in the fibrosarcoma, these tumors are relatively radioresistant. Combination with chemotherapy, combination of the selected surgery, irradiation and chemotherapy has been successful as reported in the few series. The most effective chemotherapeutic combination is a VAC, that is the vincristine, actinomycin D and cyclophosphamide for 1 to 2 years period. Though irradiation and chemotherapy have added significantly to our therapeutic armamentarium, adequate surgical excision remains the treatment of choice. When local surgical excision is not feasible, limited resections may be followed by irradiation and possibly chemotherapy. Dear students, here is the end of our big lecture series number 82, that is the malignant tumors. Thank you.